Good morning, and this is Morning Reel. If I see it, I review it. It's a 3 to 4 to 100 minute or so podcast of films that I review of all countries, all nationalities, black and white to technicolor from 1922 to 2025, which we are here. Thank God. Happy New Year, everybody. Anyways, I wanted to talk about this film called Batman Returns. I had not seen Batman Returns from beginning to end since I was a little kid. Was I avoiding this film? No, it's just, there was tons of films far beyond Tim Burton's work, far beyond the DC comic universe, far beyond Batman, period. Honestly, I've never seen this movie from the beginning to the end. I think I remember watching this film on the bootleg VHS. Imagine that, a bootleg VHS. And I remember seeing it as a kid, and it kind of weirded me out because you see clowns, you see a penguin man, you see Batman and Catwoman, you see all these kinds of characters. You see freaking Christopher Walken with a crazy ass haircut, which to me is, of course, very Burton esque. Anyways, this film is a 1992 American superhero film directed by Tim Burton, screenplay by Daniel Waters, story by Daniel Waters and Sam Hamm, based on, obviously, Batman, created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger, and published by DC Comics, produced by Denise Denovi and Tim Burton, starring Michael Keaton as Batman, Danny DeVito as the Penguin, Michelle Pfeiffer as Selina Kyle, who is also Catwoman, Christopher Walken as Max Schreck, Michael Gough, Pat Hingle, Michael Murphy, and more. Cinematography by Stefan Shapsky, who honestly, I applaud this guy. Stefan did a good job, man. Edited by Chris Lebenson. Music by the OG, Danny Elfman, who's obviously, his work stands out in almost every film he does, or actually almost every work he does. Production companies, Warner Brothers and Polygram Pictures. Interesting. Distributed by Warner Brothers. This film came out in the summer of 1992. It's 126 minutes. Made a lot of money in the box office, as it should have, And this film is very plain and simple. It's about the Penguin, We see the Penguin. Is he a good guy or a bad guy? Obviously, he is up to no good based on his upbringing, which didn't really have a lot to begin with. I like the beginning of this film where it really centers around as to why the Penguin is the Penguin, and why he wants revenge. And honestly, a premise like that makes sense. Now, there's a lot of things about this film that I thought was kind of weird, kind of didn't make sense to me. The number one thing about this film to me that I did not like, well, it's not that I didn't like it. I have a little hard time, just getting wrapping myself around it. Sometimes the one-liners are good, and sometimes the one-liners are just over the top. But is it because they were paying tribute to the old school Adam West Batmans, where almost every line was a zinger, even though it's corny 9 times out of 10? Honestly, some of these zingers are really good. They make me smirk, they make me smile, some of them make me laugh, and obviously some make me cringe. And I enjoyed this film. I think it's a nice adaptation, a very gothic, dark, thematic adaptation of a Batman film. Period. Danny DeVito really stands out in this film, even more than Michael Keaton. I mean, Michael Keaton's character in this film, pretty good Batman. He's very humble. He doesn't really take crap from nobody. Obviously, he's attracted to women, especially Selina Kyle. There's that little subplot where, he kind of falls in love with her and she falls in love with him. But obviously, they have secrets. And as the viewer, we're looking at them and we're like, are they going to hook up? Are they going to hook up before they know about each other's secrets or afterwards, during? I really wish this film was rated R because we probably would have seen that. We probably would have ingested that, but we didn't. We got what we got. Now, I don't know if Danny DeVito is a theater actor or I don't know if he's done any theater work. Mind you, I don't really do research on the films that I review. There's some, if I really like it or if I really hate it, I'll do research on it. But If anybody can tell me if Danny DeVito did any theatrical, you know, Broadway style work, I would say he's a really great theater actor because he's he's it's not that he's not over the top. The way he says his lines and the way he moves sometimes is very grandiose. It kind of calls out to Broadway type of crowd, and I enjoy every minute of it actually, even the crappy one-liners, I still like it because in some weird way it just makes sense. Actually, one of the reasons why I would stick watching this film, and it's not a bad film. It's not a film where like you're gonna turn it off or walk away from. Like I said, Bird did an all right job. It's really the script itself that has a lot of issues with it. Some of it's dialogue, some of it is subplotting. Like we don't kind of know where this is going. It kind of unwraps in a weird way, and once we know what's going on, I don't feel truly convinced that this was the way to go. Like I wish there was a little bit more on Selina Kyle's like not the transformation of her becoming Catwoman. I actually thought that scene was pretty fucking cool, and I'm a cat guy and everything. I thought it was cool, but did it make sense? Of course not. She falls out of I don't know, what seemed like a 5-story building, crashes to you know, to the snow covered concrete, and then next thing you know, you see cats just swarming from all kinds of hidden places, from the alleys, from trash cans, in between cars and all that crap. And they start the process, and it's like you gotta find something that works. And to Tim Burton, for as far as the fantasy genre of it all, I guess it works well enough. You just gotta believe what you're seeing, and I believe what I'm seeing because Selina Kyle does become almost a different person in the film, and I like how her character is very third dimensional. She knows what she's doing is not right. She knows it's wrong. She has conflictions with like not with just men or women or whatever, but like she's always kind of wanted to have somebody next to her. She wanted love, man. It kind of seems like it. She wanted just love, and she's kind of desperate for it. And Max Shrek pushing her out the window was literally like the last straw. Not literally, but it was the last straw, man. Like that was like, F it, that's it. And it took Batman slash Bruce Wayne to kind of make her change in some weird way, or at least attempt to. I don't know. Nice third act. I wish it was a little bit different as to how they would open the third act. The cinematography is great. I kind of wish I was on those sets, man, because you really believe that Gotham was cold, dark, dirty, filled with all kinds of characters, corruption and not corrupted characters. And it's funny because even as a child watching this film, I always thought it was kind of weird seeing Gotham sort of like not stuck in the 60s or whatever, because the stuff that you see in the film, it's at least at that time was accurate as far as like technology is concerned, as far as like consumerism technology, not the technology that Batman got. His shit was like, ahead of its time, even like as a superhero, right? But I don't give a fuck about that. It's just kind of weird and kind of cool that they would keep certain elements of the 60s and bring in some stuff from like, let's say late 80s, mid 80s or whatnot, and kind of blend it together. I gotta give it up to the production designer. That person did a great job working with Tim Burton, making us believe that not only is this Gotham, but this is a Batman film. I love the costumes, even the Catwoman costume. I mean, come on, man, that alone is iconic as itself. Hilarious that it took, I guess, I don't know, a whole night to come up with that costume, or a whole hour. I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. I get it. You got to push time to make the story keep going and going and going to a certain peak, right? So there's, some of those things are I wish it was a little bit better or different. I don't know. But either way, I enjoyed this film. I enjoyed the cinematography. The writing could be better. I don't know if I have a favorite scene. There's a lot of good shots in this film. I love the close up on Selina Kyle. even when it's not on Catwoman, I do like the close-ups. Tim Burton knows how to invoke emotion through the close-up, as well as the wide shot. But it's the close-up that really kind of touches you in a sense, you know. And not only does he do it for Selina Kyle, he does it for Batman. He does it for the Penguin. Definitely does it for Max Shrek. Christopher Walken playing a villain, not like a big huge villain, but like, you know, he's not a good guy. He's not a good guy. But you got to give it up to the way he finesses himself, the confidence, the overconfidence that he has, you know. That's actually somebody you kind of want to not like root for, but like you like him enough that, okay, even though he's a villain, I can still, you know, I can still see this guy. I can see the edginess that he has, you know, and it's a total contrast to Batman slash Bruce Wayne. And there are similarities with Catwoman as well. I like the similarities that Catwoman has with Bruce Wayne. Penguin, everybody has these faults. Everybody has these secrets. I like the film in the sense that it really touches upon legacy. It touches upon, can we live a life where nobody knows about our faults or the stuff that we just kind of handed down to, you know. Penguin was inherited a bad upbringing and it made him to what he was. Same goes with Batman. You know, he was brought up on the good way, and then something happened to his life. Not that we're shown that, thank God, but events like that make him to what he is. Selina Kyle as well. You know, something tragic happened that kind of turned her into Catwoman. So there are really good things in this film, and then there are some things that just needed work on. You know, I would have loved it if Tim Burton did the Batman Forever. He probably wouldn't have called it Batman Forever. I kind of wish there was something. I kind of wish he had did the film. Like, I wish he could have done the third sequel or the threequel to this franchise, because he really nailed it on just on the cinematography alone, the production design alone. It makes you feel that you're watching sort of a gothic Batman film. And all the other new films after that obviously aren't as gothic. Some of them, well, I'll just say like the Christopher Nolan Batman's dark. To me, the best Batmans. The ones with Ben Affleck, there's a different vibe to that, you know. And the Batman, which I've actually seen, I don't know if I'm going to review it. I kind of want to review, but you know, there's a theme to that as well. And actually, that one's actually pretty close as far as like the not the emo ness of it all, but like sort of the gothness to it. Either way, people, I'd suggest you watch this Batman Returns. It's not a bad film. It needs work. Honestly, if I have to give it an honest rating, I would give it 3 out of 4 tokes. It's really not a bad film. I honestly like. I think it's an okay film. I was more inclined to give it 2.5 tokes, but my name is Ray Salazar. Follow me on Morning Shot Films, IG and YouTube. Check out my website, morningshotfilms.co. The next one I'm probably going to review is the film called Camera Person. It's a documentary film about Kirsten Johnston, who it's like a memoir film. I'll say more about it on the review. Thank you, and have a happy New Year.